Hello, I'm making this video because I feel rather stifled. In fact, I am feeling extremely stifled uh, to the extent of feeling like I'm constantly being strangled. I can find almost nobody around me whom I can converse in English with. The Chinese around me, they are speaking Mandarin, the Malays are speaking Malay, and even those minority who happen to speak English in Malaysia, there are a number of problems. First of all, I am kind of reticent when I speak English with them. I am reticent in using more complex vocabulary. As a result, there is no nuance. I can't express some nuance. Maybe it's my own problem. I am too maybe I disdain maybe I think they don't understand deeper vocabulary, so I refrain from using it. Maybe it's my own ego, I don't really know. And another reason is Malaysians, when they speak English, their pronunciation is deviates really a lot from how from the pronunciation of a native English speaker. To give some obvious examples will be a few words like, for example, stable or comfortable. Normally a native speaker pronounce the ble at the end like bo, but a lot of Malaysian, I think, especially the Chinese, like to say stable or comfortable. Comfortable versus comfortable, stable versus stable. So things like that I find a bit odious. Of course, it is the right. It is the fundamental right of every single person to use and speak a certain language in whatever way or accent they want. Just that my personal bias is that for every single language, it is the best. The native speak the best. That's, for me, is quite an immutable truth. You can argue a lot. Of course, this is not mathematics. There's no truth, but my personal bias is to try to speak as close as how a native speaker of a certain language speaks that language. So, for example, English, certainly it will be British, American, and Chinese. Certainly will be people in Beijing, things like that. And of course, me myself, I am so far away from resembling how a native speaker speaks English. So I'm very far away from it, definitely. But that's the reason I want to practice, and I want to speak in this kind of tone, using different vocabulary. So that's my conundrum now. I feel rather stifled because I can find not many people around me to speak like this, and today I could only resort to speaking in front of the camera to myself. It sounds a bit poignant, but I think this might work. It's a good way to practice. So what am I going to talk about? I thought about that a little. Mainly things that I find interesting from day to day. Maybe I will start by talking about things that I'm not interested and will not talk about. I generally refrain from talking about or even thinking about things that are trendy and popular, things like business, finance, sales, marketing, stock market, I don't know, sports, English football, all these stupid things. I think, first of all, those things have no nuance. When you discuss them, when you talk about them, you can't really generate any new thinking. You can discover new ideas. So I think it's kind of boring. And what I find interesting about, of course, I'm very interested in lots of things, ranging from literature, economics, physics, computers, computer science, even mathematics, history, So I will start by talking about something I in recent years I have been studying, discovering a lot, which is American history, and today I want to discuss about why the United States of America is so great. Of course, this statement, why the United States of America is so great. This statement presupposes the fact that it is great. It is factually great, and this statement is not axiomatic. Definitely, it people might think that it contains a huge dose of subjectivity, but especially the naysayers, especially the detractors of America, lots of people, especially the Chinese, I don't know why maybe it's due to jealousy. They think that America is not great, it used to be great, or some even outrightly deny that it has ever been great at all. But for me, I think it is very factual. No matter we look at the amount of technology they have developed, their cultural influence towards the world, the GDP per capita, number of billionaires, number of largest companies in the world. So many of them are from USA. So I think it is a factually acceptable truth. And also, so many great cities, Silicon Valley for technology, Los Angeles for what casino, what entertainment, New York for finance, so Texas for cars. So it is factually correct. I don't want to argue or debate about that. So I want to talk a little bit about American history. Why it is important. I think the history. If you study the history, you probably will get a thing or two about why and how did America become so great. The mainstream theory on why how did America become so great? The mainstream theories are a few. The dominant theory is that during World War One and World War Two, America was lucky due to the geographical location. They were almost completely spared from the world wars. Of course, they participated and in fact even led the World War. They volunteered to do that. So the mainstream theory is America was spared from World War, so lots of Europeans rivals, be it Germany, UK, France, so all of them suffered a lot of damage, and comparably, America suffered almost no damage. Not only that, lots of really talented scientists, artists, mathematicians, all of them migrated to USA to evade the war. One obvious example is Albert Einstein. He left Germany and entered USA and got naturalized, I believe. So all this, America did not suffer any damage, while its rival suffered a lot during World Wars, and also America successfully attracted and obtained a lot of talents from European countries, particularly the Western Europe, and also when the World War II was done, lots of rocket scientists, I believe, also from Germany, the losing country, the losing country in World War. All the German scientists also joined America. I think it's under a thing called Marshall Plan. So all these reasons made America so great. So this is a dominant ethos, dominant theory on why America is so great. But of course, I think it is more than that. Other possible theories. First of all, it is America is actually quite a vast country, full of natural resources. people forget about that because America is so great in technology, and it has transformed itself into a service economy so long ago. People forget about that actually America has enormous petroleum, wood, timber, minerals. So that is also true, and it has a huge population. I think it has about 300 millions, almost 6 times of UK, and these are all possible reasons. But another mainstream explanation is that the foundation of America is very great. So what is foundation? If you study the history, America, I think the first person who landed on America was I'm not too sure it's Columbus or 15th century. There was a guy called James something. So they settle James settlement. They settle in America for the first time. So all these people, they were British, of course. They were English. They settled there, and then rumors said that they killed or at least exploited a lot of the native Indians, Native Americans, Native Indians there. Okay, but those are not so important. The important part is later on, the English monarchy, the British monarchy, the Queen, demanded an increased tax, and then the Americans were the English in America, they were unhappy, so they started to fight against the Queen, and they obtained independence. And later on, they have this civil war between northern and southern part of America. But all these things are not so important. The important part is where the first constitution was drafted. I believe all the forefathers of America, like James Madison, Washington, definitely Benjamin Franklin, can't remember what other names. I think I remember there were at least 50 people. So they spent weeks to craft this constitution. They really thought everything from first reasoning. So they were very certain they didn't want a monarchy anymore, not even constitutional monarchy. So they formed a republic, and they were well aware of the famous quote that power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely. So they understand the importance of separation power, the typical one. I think just this one is copied from the British. You have a judiciary, legislative, and also parliamentary. Executive. But the important part, I think, an innovation for U.S. Constitution was the separation between the states and federal. So this is another new innovation successfully to decentralize the power between the states and federal. And of course, the most important part that is being enshrined under U.S. Constitution was the freedom. Lots of freedom in everything, no matter it's religion, no matter it's speech, assembly, and also freedom to start businesses, freedom to do anything you want, so long as it complies with the law. Today, we take all these things for granted. Even in Malaysia, we have all these things, but actually back then, especially in the 17th, 16th century, when the world was still dominated mainly by monarchy, absolute monarchy, it was actually a really groundbreaking, trailblazing innovation. And this is one of the core explanations on why America is so great. While other countries, for example in China, at that point of time it was still dynasty Ming. In other countries, the monarchy was still controlling people in an authoritarian way. America enabled every single individual to unleash their potential. And after 300 years, all these people, artists, scientists, engineers, farmers, they all innovate and do really great things and develop a country. I think, I have a 15 minutes duration because YouTube will only generate video subtitle automatically for video below 15 minutes. So I will stop here. I will continue tomorrow. See you.